I have found myself within the pages of a novel, transformed into a false heiress of a wealthy family, with my relatives poised to cast me out into the streets. The good news, I have acquired the skill of broadcasting my thoughts. The bad news, my entire family can hear my every sarcastic remark. The even worse news, in the original narrative, we are all mere cannon fodder. Now, as I indulge in 3 bowls of rice to replenish my strength, I am frantically revealing spoilers with my electrifying thoughts. To this generation of antagonists, I implore you to show some kindness. One day I have met my demise. To be precise, it occurred after an all-night binge on a melodramatic tale of wealthy families and heartbreak. Overcome with frustration, I suffered a heart attack, and upon regaining consciousness, I found myself standing at the grand entrance of an opulent villa. My phone's screen flickered, illuminating the last scene I had witnessed. The adopted daughter of the Qi family, Qi Jinjin, envious of the return of the true heiress, repeatedly plots against her, only to be cast out and meet a tragic end on the streets. What an absurd plot. I glanced down at the suitcase in my hand. Then I looked up at the gilded nameplate that read Qi Residence. Wait, Qi Jinjin? Qi Jinjin, how long do you intend to linger at the door? A voice as cold as ice sliced through the air from behind me, causing me to jump and nearly drop my suitcase. I turned to face a strikingly handsome man, with sharp brows and piercing eyes, impeccably dressed in a suit that exuded an aura of affluence. My mind automatically conjured up his profile. Qi Shuyuan, the eldest son of the Qi family, aged 28, a rising star in the business world, and the ruthless character who first cast the false heiress out in the original tale, B brother. My voice trembled. His presence was so commanding that it evoked memories of my high school principal. Qi Shuyuan furrowed his brow as he glanced at my suitcase. You seem to have packed quite swiftly. It suddenly dawned on me. Original plot was at the pivotal moment when the true heiress was reclaimed, and the family was preparing to expel the false one. Wait, brother, let me explain. And no need for explanations. He raised a hand to interrupt, his gaze icy. The real heir has returned home. You should understand your place. Panic surged within me, causing beads of sweat to form on my brow. According to the original narrative, after being cast out today, I would be unable to afford rent and would resort to working in a bar. Then, I would be drugged and sold to the black market. Help! I refuse to follow this storyline, brother. Next week you will be framed in a car accident by your business rivals. If you expel me now, you will have no one to see you off. As this thought exploded in my mind, Qi Shuyuan suddenly faltered, looking around in shock. Who is speaking? I was even more astonished I hadn't uttered a word. This was merely my inner thought. Moreover, the phrase about seeing him off was rather cutting. Oh no, my thoughts are leaking out? What kind of absurd benefit is this? Where is the promise system? Qi Jinjin. Qi Shuyuan suddenly grasped my wrist, his expression a mix of confusion and alarm. What have you done? I flinched at his grip, and my stomach audibly grumbled. Oh dear, does expressing my thoughts make me hungry too? What a ridiculous setup. Qi Shuyuan's expression transformed into one of sheer incredulity, as if he were witnessing both an alien and a penguin performing a square dance. He stared at me intently, as though trying to bore a hole through my face. Brother? I timidly raised my hand. May I have a meal first? To be honest, I am so famished that I could gnaw on your herm's belt. The air thickened for 3 seconds. Qi Shuyuan suddenly released his grip, turned, and strode into the room. Come in. He glanced back at me, his gaze complex enough to warrant a doctoral dissertation. Eat first. We can discuss other matters later. With trepidation, I trailed behind him, dragging my suitcase, my mind racing with thoughts. What is happening? Did he hear my thoughts? This isn't right in the original story. He never even let me through the door. Wait, could he be planning to poison my food? As Qi Shuyuan walked ahead, he suddenly stumbled, nearly colliding with the doorframe. I find myself seated before an opulent dining table designed to accommodate 20 individuals, yet I dare only perch precariously on the edge of my chair. The crystal chandelier radiates an almost blinding brilliance, and the gleaming cutlery reflects light that pierces my eyes. Before me lie 7 sets of knives and forks, leaving me utterly perplexed as to which utensil to grasp first. Heavens, is this elaborate setup intended for a grand imperial feast? Why must one require so many tools for a mere meal? A pair of chopsticks would suffice, surely? At the head of the table, my father Qi trembles slightly, causing his knife to scrape harshly against the porcelain plate. I instinctively draw my neck in, feigning interest in the artistry of the folded napkin. Having just returned from France, Mingyue, my sister, has meticulously studied culinary arts at Le Cordon Bleu. Our mother, Lin Yalan, beams with warmth, gently patting the hand of the girl beside her. Today's French cuisine has been lovingly prepared by her own hands. It is only then that I notice the girl seated next to my mother. She possesses long, sleek black hair and is clad in a white dress, radiating an ethereal glow. This is Qi Mingyue, the true daughter of the original story. Oh my, what a quintessential embodiment of purity. In the narrative, this sister appears gentle yet possesses a remarkable talent for betrayal behind the scenes. Mother, please be cautious. A sudden cough escapes my elder brother, Qi Shuyuan, as he chokes on water, his ears turning an unusual shade of red. Mingyue rises gracefully, offering to pour everyone a glass of red wine. Sister, do try this. I specifically selected a Bordeaux. As she bends, a stray lock of hair inadvertently sweeps across my plate. Ah, a classic trope. Is the next act to be an apology, followed by tears as if I have wronged her? A loud clatter interrupts as my second brother, Qi Shujin, drops his fork onto the floor. This silver-haired esports champion stares wide-eyed, as if he has encountered a ghost. Mingyue's expression shifts momentarily, yet she quickly regains her composure. Sister, why aren't you eating? Is the meal unpalatable? I glance down at the suspicious mound of what is purported to be food, drenched in a pink sauce that obscures the original ingredients, flanked by a few forlorn greens. Is it truly safe to consume this? Is the essence of French cuisine to render food unrecognizable, thereby justifying the exorbitant price? Suddenly, Qi Shujin bursts into laughter, only to stifle it under the weight of our father's piercing glare, his shoulders shaking uncontrollably. Steeling myself, I slice a small piece of meat and place it in my mouth, only to be met with an overwhelming shock. Goodness! It is as if the Atlantic has been distilled into salt. Is this culinary expertise derived from a submarine? Lin Yalin abruptly succumbs to a fit of coughing, prompting our father to hastily offer her water. Below the table, chaos ensues as someone steps forcefully on my foot, Mingyue in her high heels. Ah! I cry out in pain. What is it? My elder brother immediately inquires. Nothing, nothing. I manage to smile weakly. I am merely astounded by my sister's culinary prowess. This woman is undoubtedly doing this on purpose. I might lose a toe. In the original tale, this segment depicted the false daughter scheming against the true one. How has it reversed? A sudden and eerie silence envelopes the table. All eyes are fixed upon me, even the butler halting his task of pouring wine. Gradually, it dawns on me that they might have overheard my inner thoughts. I am full, I exclaim, springing to my feet, the chair screeching against the floor. I shall return to my room. Wait, Qi Shuyuan calls out. Your room has already been given to Mingyue. Oh, how awkward it was for me to stand there. I was about to head to the hotel for some frivolity when suddenly, Mr. Qi spoke up, questioning my late-night hotel visit. Butler Wang, prepare the guest room on the west side. I was utterly astounded. My jaw nearly dropped. In the original story, Mr. Qi was the first to insist I leave. Yet now he was allowing me to stay overnight? A flicker of shadow crossed Qi Mingyue's eyes, but she quickly replaced it with a sweet smile. Father is right. Sister should stay tonight. She rose to take Lin Yalin's arm, the jade necklace she wore shimmering under the light, almost blindingly green. Goodness, please take that necklace off. I thought to myself. In the original narrative, that jade had been tainted with neurotoxin by Qi Mingyue, causing skin decay after 3 days of wear. Suddenly, Lin Yalin's wine glass slipped from her hand, crimson liquid splattering across the white tablecloth like a pool of blood. Mother? Qi Mingyue leaned in with concern. Lin Yalin's complexion turned ashen as her trembling fingers reached for the clasp of the necklace. I suddenly feel this necklace is a bit tight. I'll assist you, Qi Shuyuan said, stepping forward swiftly and deftly unclasping the necklace, handing it to the butler for safekeeping. Qi Mingyue's expression faltered dramatically. Elder brother. That was a precious gift I chose for mother. It's far too valuable and inconvenient to wear regularly. Qi Shuyuan remained unfazed, addressing me. Isn't that right, Jinjin? Caught off guard, I stammered. Ah? Yes, yes. Elder brother is impressive. His reaction speed is extraordinary. But why does the second brother keep staring at me? Is there something on my face? Suddenly, Qi Xiuqin stood up. I just remembered the team has something urgent. I must leave. He dashed out of the dining room, glancing back at me with a look as if he had seen a monster. Qi Mingyue forced a smile. I'll check on the dessert. In an instant, the dining room was left with just me, Mr. and Mrs. Qi, and my elder brother. The atmosphere felt thick enough to slice. I let out a dry chuckle and attempted to sit down. Mr. Qi gestured toward a chair. Shuyuan, please close the door. I sat back down, trembling as Mr. She retrieved a photograph from his suit pocket and slid it across the table toward me. It was a family portrait taken on my 5th birthday. Although it proves you are not our biological daughter, Mr. Chi's voice softened. The bond of 20 years is not a lie. My heart ached, and tears nearly spilled from my eyes. In the original tale, Mr. Chi had explicitly stated, from this day forth, the Chi family has no further ties with you. Could the narrative truly be altered? However, Mr. Chi abruptly shifted the conversation. Have you encountered anything particularly unusual lately? My heart sank. Oh no. They must have discovered my ability to project my thoughts. Are they going to send me to a lab for dissection? Not at all, I exclaimed, my voice rising an octave. I am completely normal. The three exchanged glances. Lin Yaolin gently took my hand. Xinjin, actually we suddenly, Qi Xiuqin burst through the door, brandishing his phone. You will never believe this. I just received news that our rival team has reported me for cheating. The officials are going to investigate. Silence enveloped the dining room once more. All eyes turned toward me. Goodness. In the original story, the second brother was banned due to a cheating scandal and fell into despair. This plot twist is unfolding far too quickly. Qi Xiuqin's face turned pale. You really can. What can I do? I feigned ignorance. Nothing at all. Qi Shuyuan firmly restrained his agitated younger brother and bestowed upon me a knowing smile, suggesting that it was indeed late, urging me to rest. We shall converse in earnest tomorrow. Relieved as if granted a reprieve, I hastily followed the butler out. Behind me, I could hear Qi Xiuqin's distressed voice. She truly can foresee the future. I heard it with my own ears. Silence. Qi Shuyuan admonished sharply. My legs turned to jelly, nearly causing me to collapse on the staircase. Oh no, they can genuinely hear.
I am doomed.
Wait, if I can alter the narrative, does that mean I need not be the expendable character? This thought ignited a warmth within me, almost provoking a laugh. At 3 a.m, I lay on the sumptuous bed of a room that rivaled a 5-star hotel, counting the facets of the crystal chandelier on the ceiling. 128, 129. Sleep eludes me. My mind is consumed with the question of whether they truly can hear my thoughts. I turned over, burying my face in the pillow. The luxurious silk absorbed the tears that seeped from my eyes. If I can indeed shift the storyline, might I escape death? In the original tale, the false heiress was exiled and subsequently had her organs harvested by the black market. Knock, knock, knock. A gentle rap at the door startled me, causing me to spring from the bed. Who is it? It's me, came Qi Shuyuan's deliberately subdued voice from outside. Open the door. Flustered, I managed to crack the door open. In the corridor's light, my elder brother stood clad in a deep gray pajama set, astonishingly holding a cup of hot milk. To aid sleep, he explained, thrusting the cup into my hands, his gaze wandering. Tomorrow at 10 a.m, Father wishes to see you. I accepted the cup, warmth radiating through the ceramic into my palm. Delivering milk at such an hour?
Could it be poisoned?
In the original story, my brother despised the false heiress. Qi Shuyuan's lips twitched slightly. It's not poisoned.
Pardon?
My hand trembled, nearly spilling the milk. I assure you, he took a deep breath, there are no additives. Sleep early. With that, he turned and left, his back rigid as though struck by lightning. I closed the door, staring blankly at the milk. He can definitely hear. I'm truly doomed, destined to be captured for experimentation. Deciding to pour the milk into a potted plant, I turn around, only to be startled by a large hand covering my mouth. Qi Xiuqin's handsome face loomed close, his silvery hair brushing my cheek as he placed a finger to his lips. Sure. Nodding in terror, he released his grip. Leaning closer, he whispered in my ear, his hair grazing my skin. Tomorrow, no matter what anyone asks, say you don't know, understand?
I don't understand. TSK.
He raked a hand through his hair in frustration. Just don't overthink it, especially concerning my competition. With that, he surprisingly vaulted out onto the balcony. Peering over the railing, I watched Qi Xiuqin, nimble as a cat, swiftly descend the water pipe into the garden. What is wrong with this family? Playing Assassin's Creed in the middle of the night? A loud crack echoed from below as a branch snapped. Squinting, I saw Qi Xiuqin tumble into the bushes, grimacing as he rubbed his backside. Serves him right. How precious are the hands of a professional player. What will he do if he breaks them? Suddenly, Qi Xiuqin froze in the foliage, glaring up at me and making a slashing motion across his throat. I quickly withdrew into my room. Lying on the bed, I stared blankly at the glass of milk. It is worth mentioning that although the eldest brother in the original work is cold-hearted, he is quite reasonable. The second brother is impulsive yet deeply sentimental. As for the third brother, wait, have I even met him? In my drowsy state, I seemed to hear rustling noises outside the door, but sleepiness washed over me like a tidal wave, and I sank into slumber. I was awakened by the sunlight streaming in. Upon opening my eyes, I was met with a magnified doll-like face peering down at me.
Ah.
I swung a punch in surprise.
Ouch.
The other party retreated, clutching their nose. Why did you hit me? Only then did I realize it was a boy of around 16 or 17, clad in a private school uniform, his eyes red like a rabbit's. Chi Shiran? I asked tentatively. In the original story, the third brother of the Chi family was studying abroad, with hardly any significant scenes. Just call me the third brother, he said in a muffled voice, still rubbing his nose. Dad wants you in the study. I glanced at the clock. It was 10:50. Oh no. I'm going to be late. Father Chi detests tardiness. The third brother suddenly chuckled. Don't worry, I've bought you an extra 10 minutes. I hurriedly washed up and discovered that the wardrobe was already filled with new clothes, the tag still attached.
Wow.
Haute couture. This piece must cost at least 5 figures.
Right?
No, this isn't the time to think about that. The third brother leaned against the doorframe, his gaze peculiar. You're much more interesting than I expected.
Huh.
It's nothing. He turned around. Hurry up. If we're late, Dad will be furious. 10 minutes later, I stood at the door of the study, taking a deep breath. Stay calm, Chijinjin. Worst case, I'll just be kicked out. After all, that's what happens in the original work. Come in, came Father Chi's voice from behind the door. I pushed it open and nearly faltered. Inside the study, the 3 brothers of the Chi family stood in a row behind Father Chi, resembling 3 guardians. Sit. Father Chi gestured toward the chair opposite him. Trembling, I sat down, noticing a document laid out on the table. This is the severance agreement. Father Chi adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses. Sign it and you can take 5 million. My heart sank to the depths. So it is true, he really intends to expel me. Wait, in the original work, it was only 500,000. Why the price hike? Suddenly, Chi Xiujin coughed, and the eldest brother shot him a glare. However, Father Chi shifted the conversation, saying, Before you sign, I have a question. He opened a drawer and produced 3 photographs, sliding them across the table toward me. Tell me, what do you see? I looked down at the first photo. It was Chi Shuyuan's car. The second was of Chi Xiujin's esports team. The third depicted an emerald necklace. Isn't that the cursed necklace from yesterday? Wait, could father be testing me? I decided to take a gamble. The brake system of the eldest brother's car has been tampered with. The manager of the second brother's team is attempting to frame him for cheating. And mother's necklace has been poisoned. I blurted it all out in one breath, then held my breath. The study fell into an eerie silence. Father Chi exchanged glances with the 3 brothers, and then clap, clap, clap. Father Chi suddenly burst into applause. All correct.
What?
Chi Xiuyuan exclaimed, incredulity lacing his voice. Every one of your insights is terrifyingly accurate. Chi Xiujin added, I checked the manager's computer. That scoundrel really fabricated evidence of cheating. The eldest brother's car has indeed been tampered with. The third brother excitedly interjected, if it weren't for you, he would have been ruined next week. Father Chi sternly interrupted, mind your language. As I sat in the chair, I felt as though my worldview was crumbling. So, they can truly hear my innermost thoughts? Wait. Does that mean all my internal musings about them are being exposed? Ahem. The 4 of them coughed simultaneously, and to my surprise, Father Chi's aged face turned slightly red. In any case, he removed his glasses to clean them and stated that we had decided not to expel you for the time being. Temporarily? I keenly seized upon the key term. We need further verification. Father Chi's gaze drifted toward the bookshelf. If you are willing to cooperate. Cooperate for what? Are they planning to confine me for experiments? Not experiments. The 3 brothers exclaimed in unison. The atmosphere grew undeniably awkward. I timidly raised my hand. May I ask a question? Father Chi nodded. Why tell me all this? I twisted my fingers nervously. You could easily pretend not to hear. Because of the necklace. Father Chi's tone softened unexpectedly. Yalan sent it for testing this morning. It indeed has a coating of castor bean toxin. I gasped in shock. Regardless of how you came to know. Chi Xiuyuan stepped forward. You saved our mother's life. The Chi family's grievances were clearly delineated. My nose tinged with sorrow, and tears streamed down my face uncontrollably. So it is true that altering the plot can save lives. Wait, does that mean my father's business crisis is also What business crisis? Father Chi suddenly stood up.
Huh.
I didn't say anything. For pairs of eyes fixated on me. Oh no, I've let something slip. In the original story, Father Chi's partner is set to abscond with funds next week, resulting in a plummet of Chi Corporation stock price. Which partner? Father Chi's complexion turned ashen. I don't know. I was on the verge of tears. I really didn't say anything. Chi Xiuyuan suddenly pressed down on his father's shoulder. Dad, calm down. We need to change our approach. At that moment, the study door swung open, and Lin Yalan entered, carrying tea and snacks. You've been chatting all morning. You must be hungry. Her gaze fell upon my tear-streaked face, and her expression shifted instantly. Qi Zhenghua, are you bullying my daughter? I am not. Father Qi protested, his indignation palpable. We were discussing serious matters. What serious matters could make a child cry? Lin Yalan exclaimed, pulling me into her embrace. I won't sign. I won't sign any agreement. Xinjin will stay at home. Let's see who dares to drive her away. The scent of my mother's perfume enveloped me, and I cried even harder. Mother is so wonderful. In the original story, she was the first to throw my luggage out. Lin Yalan stiffened for a moment, but then hugged me even tighter. There, don't cry. Mommy will make you mango pudding. Father Qi and the three brothers exchanged glances. The third brother timidly raised his hand again. Can I have a portion too?
Eat, eat, eat.
All you think about is food. Lin Yalan shot him a glare, then gently patted my head. Only for Xinjin, the third brother. I suddenly burst into laughter, feeling that perhaps entering the story was not such a bad thing after all. Under the onslaught of Lin Yalan's mango pudding, my status in the Qi family villa underwent a profound transformation. My room has undergone a transformation from a guest room to the main bedroom, second only to Qi Mingyue's. Each day, new haute couture garments appear in the wardrobe. Even the scrambled eggs for breakfast have been shaped into hearts by the chef. Xinjin, try this, Lin Yalan says, handing me a slice of bread lavishly adorned with caviar. You loved this as a child. I take it, astonished, catching a glimpse of Qi Mingyue, her fingers clutching the fork turning white. My goodness, this change in treatment is so sudden that it leaves me slightly unnerved. Wait a moment, in the original story, the faux heiress at this stage should have been sent to the slums. Opposite me, Qi Xiuyuan, sipping his coffee, suddenly chokes, splattering coffee onto his custom shirt, which is rumored to cost 6 figures.
Xiuyuan.
Lin Yalan exclaims, are you alright? I'm fine, he replies, wiping the corner of his mouth, casting a significant glance my way, as if to say that some things have indeed veered off course. Suddenly, Qi Mingyue sets down her utensils. I'm full. As she rises, she accidentally knocks over my orange juice. The glass rolls across the table, spilling juice all over my nightgown. Oh dear, I'm sorry, sister, she apologizes, her eyes glinting with malice. It was unintentional. Classic White Lotus rhetoric. Is the next step for her to cry and claim I bullied her? Mingyue. Lin Yalan frowns. How careless of you. Apologize to your sister. Qi Mingyue is taken aback, clearly unprepared for her mother's reaction. In the original narrative, Lin Yalan should have cherished her like a precious gem by now. No, it's alright, I quickly stand, I'll go change. Just as I turn, I hear Qi Mingyue's voice quivering. Mom, I truly didn't mean it. Enough. Qi father interjects suddenly. Wang, take the young lady to change her clothes. Mingyue, you come with me to the study. Following the butler upstairs, my heart races with uncertainty. Miss Qi, this is the new outfit prepared for you by Madam. Wang reveals a wardrobe filled with this season's latest designs. Madam mentioned you like blue. As I gaze at the exquisite dresses, an unexpected wave of emotion washes over me. My mother still remembers my fondness for blue. No, this is not the moment to feel touched. I must find a way to caution my father about my uncle.
Tentatively,
I inquire, will my uncle be coming today? Wang's hands, which are fastening my belt, pause momentarily. The second master is returning to the country this afternoon. He said he would bring gifts for Miss Mingyue. A tightness grips my chest. Oh no. In the original tale, my uncle will be deceived by the book's protagonist, Su Wanru, into selling a treasured ancestral jade pendant for a pittance. That pendant is crucial to the Qi family's legacy. Miss Qi?
you don't look well. I'm Fine.
I force a calm demeanor, just feeling a bit dizzy. When I descend dressed anew, the living room is empty. As I hesitate, contemplating whether to seek out my father, my phone suddenly vibrates. A text from an unknown number reads, Want to know how to survive in this world? 3 p.m., Imperial Hotel CAF. Su Wanru. My hand trembles. causing the phone to slip from my grasp and fall onto the carpet. Oh no! The original protagonist has come to find me. How did she know I was transmigrated? I pick it up. Suddenly, I heard Qi Shuyuan's voice behind me, asking, "Who sent it?" Startled, I nearly lost my composure and turned to find my elder brother standing behind me, holding car keys in his hand. Nothing, I just hid my phone behind my back. It's just spam. Qi Shuyuan raised an eyebrow. I heard it. Heard what? Everything. He stepped closer, his voice lowered significantly, about Su Wanru and that jade pendant. My eyes widened, my heart raced. How does he know about the pendant? It was never mentioned in the original. Wait, could it be? Indeed. Qi Shuyuan seemed to read my thoughts. Our entire family has been aware since the moment you stood at the door. My legs weakened, nearly causing me to kneel. So, those inner monologues. Every single word. My brother smirked, especially the part where you called me 39 handsome enough to incite public outrage 39.
Ah.
Just let me die. I even commented that father resembled a plump penguin, and mother, with her excessive skincare, looked like a waxed apple. And that second brother cries when he loses at games. Qi Jinjin. My brother suddenly grasped my shoulder. Calm down.
Breathe.
It was then I realized I was on the brink of suffocation. Listen. Qi Shuyuan looked at me earnestly. We held a family meeting. Regardless of how you came to know those matters, you saved mother, alerted me and Xiujin, and helped father avert a business crisis.
So?
So, he inhaled deeply. I welcome you to formally join the Qi family. My eyes brimmed with tears, and they cascaded down my cheeks uncontrollably.
Wah.
This is wonderful. No longer a mere pawn. Wait, what about this afternoon's meeting? Do not reply to that message. My brother wiped away my tears. We shall meet this Miss Su. At 2:50 p.m., in the CAF of the Imperial View Hotel, I donned a baseball cap and mask, stealthily hiding behind a potted plant. Qi Shuyuan sat nearby, perusing a newspaper, while my second and third brothers masqueraded as a server and a customer, respectively. This setup is quite extravagant, but it's thrilling, like filming a spy movie. Qi Xiujin passed by with a tray, whispering, "Shut up," as my nervous hands trembled. At precisely 3 o'clock, a woman in a white dress entered the CAF. Her long hair flowed elegantly, her makeup flawless, and a striking red coral bracelet adorned her wrist. That's her. The protagonist, Su Wanru. That bracelet is her golden finger, capable of discerning the authenticity of antiques. Su Wanru surveyed her surroundings, not spotting her acquaintance, and chose a window seat. At that moment, my phone buzzed again. Stop hiding, I know you're there. If you wish to keep your identity as a book traveler a secret from the Qi family, meet me alone. A chill ran down my spine. How does she know I'm here? Does she possess some special ability as well? Qi Shuyuan suddenly set down his newspaper and strode directly to Su Wanru's table. Miss, he inquired politely, would you mind sharing a table? Su Wanru looked up, her eyes sparkling. Not at all. What is my brother up to? Is it a beauty trap? Qi Shuyuan gestured for me to remain calm, his hands discreetly signaling. I am waiting for someone, Su Wanru smiled, though it seems they are late. What a coincidence, I too am waiting for someone. My elder brother displayed a charming smile that I had never witnessed before. He is my uncle, the second master of the Qi family. Su Wanru's expression instantly froze. How delightful. A direct general. In the original story, she approached the Qi family through her uncle, Mr. Qi. Su Wanru feigned calmness. What a coincidence. My brother maintained his smile. Miss Su, haven't you been waiting for this opportunity? I've heard you are quite interested in the ancestral jade pendant of the Qi family? Su Wanru's face turned pale. How do you know? I also know. My brother leaned in, his voice as cold as ice, that your coral bracelet can authenticate antiques. But it has a fatal flaw. It turns black in the presence of a counterfeit. Su Wanru abruptly stood up, the chair scraping against the floor with a piercing sound.
Who are you?
Her voice trembled. You cannot be a character from the original story. Allow me to introduce myself. My brother snapped his fingers. And Qi Xiujin and the third brother immediately gathered around. We are the 3 brothers of the Qi family, here to meet you. The 39 book traverser. I couldn't help but leap out from behind a potted plant, and I am here too. Upon seeing me, Su Wanru's eyes nearly bulged out of her head. You allied with the original characters? Allied? That term is inappropriate. We are clearly family. Did you hear that? The third brother proudly waved his phone. We are indeed family. By the way, I recorded your conversation just now. Su Wanru turned ashen, suddenly grabbing her bag to flee. Stop her. The second brother darted forward. Unexpectedly, Su Wanru pulled out a small can of pepper spray from her bag. "Be careful," I shouted. In a split second, a figure stepped in front of the second brother. It was my uncle, Chi Jinya, the second master of the Chi family. "Miss," my uncle seized Su Wanru's wrist. "Using prohibited items in public is against the law."
Su Wanru was utterly dumbfounded. Kia ye?
Uncle is quite handsome. Although he is somewhat naive in the original story, he is surprisingly reliable in reality. My uncle turned back to wink at me. "Thank you for the compliment, Xiao Xinjin." I was taken aback. Wait, can uncle hear my thoughts? Of course, my uncle swiftly confiscated Su Wanru's spray. Our entire family can. By the way, I took note of your naive comment. I remained speechless. After Su Wanru was escorted away by security, our family held a small celebration in the CAF. Therefore, I bit down on my straw and looked at my uncle. "Were you planning to sell the ancestral jade pendant to her today?" My uncle scratched his head in embarrassment. Yes, she claimed to be an antique collector and offered a high price. In the original story, she flipped it for 80 million. That pendant is the key to the Chi family's ancestral grave. Without it, we cannot even perform ancestor worship. The entire family turned to stare at my uncle.
What?
My uncle jumped up. The key to the ancestral grave? That pendant is not just an ordinary heirloom? Father Chi face-bombed. "Second son, you don't even know what your family's heirloom is? How was I supposed to know?" My uncle protested, looking pitiful. "Dad only told me to take good care of it before he passed. Because in the original story, this secret was known only to the head of the family." "Uncle, please be more mindful." The entire family burst into laughter. My uncle cast a forlorn glance at me. "Jinjin, have some mercy." I stuck out my tongue, feeling warm inside. This is truly wonderful. In a lively atmosphere, devoid of deceit, Chi Yuan suddenly leaned closer to my ear and whispered, "Do not forget. You still owe me an explanation regarding 3939. My smile faltered. This is it. The confession session is about to turn into an interrogation. My elder brother pinched my cheek reassuringly. "Do not worry. We have an entire evening to discuss this at length." Under the curious gazes of my family, I swallowed hard. There was no escaping now. At the breakfast table in the Chi family villa, I found myself engaged in a battle with a particularly stubborn piece of toast. Since the family confession last week, my life had undergone a remarkable transformation. The entire Chi family now regarded me as a human oracle and a source of amusement. "Jinjin, try this," Lin Yalan said, pushing a slice of toast slathered in blueberry jam towards me. "You used to love this when you were young." I took a bite, and the sweet and tangy jam melted on my tongue.
Wow.
This is even more delicious than described in the original text. By the way, in the original story, at this point, Mother should already be hospitalized due to necklace poisoning. Lin Yalan's hand trembled slightly, her eyes reddening. "Silly child, eat slowly." Across from me, Chi Mingyue scoffed. The sound of her knife and fork scraping against the plate jarring. Ever since the Su Wanru incident, she had regarded me with a gaze one might reserve for an extraterrestrial being. Strangely, however, she had ceased her antics. Could it be that my commanding presence has intimidated her? Or perhaps my younger brother, Chi Xiran, suddenly leaned in closer, whispering, "The day before yesterday, when you went to the garden, she was hiding behind the rose bushes." I widened my eyes, and then she overheard you worrying that she might be deceived into a marriage alliance, he shrugged. "She cried all night and, the next day, surprisingly began helping you choose outfits." I turned my gaze towards Chi Mingyue, who immediately averted her eyes, though the tips of her ears turned red.
Ah.
So the originally cold-hearted White Lotus possesses a Tsundra attribute? Cough cough. Chi Mingyue choked on her milk, clumsily grabbing a napkin to wipe her mouth. At the opposite end of the table, Chi father was reading the newspaper when he suddenly frowned. Gu Corporation is acquiring another tech company.
Gu.
Isn't that the family business of the main antagonist, Gu Qinzhou, in the original story? Every fork and knife at the table halted in midair. "Jinjin." Chi Shuyuan set down his coffee cup. "Do you know Gu Qinzhou?" "No, not really," I recoiled slightly. "I've just heard of him." "Heard of him?" In the original story, this fellow appears refined and cultured, yet secretly drives Chi technology to the brink of bankruptcy and nearly sends my elder brother to prison. The coffee cup in Chi Shuyuan's hand cracked with a sharp sound. "Shuyuan," Lin Yalan exclaimed, "is your hand all right?" "It's fine," my elder brother replied calmly, switching to another cup. "I just suddenly feel that Gu Corporation is worth paying attention to." Chief father regarded me thoughtfully, quietly searching for information on Gu Corporation on his tablet. After breakfast, as I prepared to return to my room, Chi Xiujin suddenly blocked my path.
Jinjin.
Come to the esports room.
Ha.
I'll help you rank up. Second brother tugged at me, eager to showcase the prowess of the top player in the national server. 10 minutes later, I found myself seated in a 10,000 yuan esports chair, staring at the screen displaying a score of 083, lost in contemplation. Is this truly the top player in the national server? The scene unfolded with a sense of urgency and tension. Chi Jinjin. Chi Xiujin's frustration was palpable as he exclaimed, I'm just not in the right state. Alright, I'll hold back my laughter. Should I give it a try? My second brother eyed me skeptically as he relinquished his position. Are you sure you can do it? I flexed my fingers, recalling the experience of my past life spent grinding late into the night. Even though I've transmigrated, the muscle memory should still linger, right? After all, I was once a player at the pinnacle of the game. An hour later, the system's enthusiastic female voice echoed through the esports room. Chi Xiujin knelt beside his chair, looking at me with reverence akin to that reserved for a deity. Jinjin, he stammered, you are my biological sister. Huh? In the original story, my second brother was left despondent after a cheating scandal, but witnessing him act this way is quite endearing. Suddenly, Chi Xiujin's eyes glistened with unshed tears. Thank you for reminding me about the manager. I paused, quickly realizing that in the original narrative, he was falsely accused of cheating, leading to the ruin of his professional career and a descent into alcoholism. Just as I was about to speak, he enveloped me in a tight embrace. If anyone bullies you, I will be the first to stand against it. His voice was thick with emotion, and that included Chi Mingyue. I felt a mix of amusement and warmth in my heart. The door to the esports room swung open abruptly, revealing Chi Xiuyuan standing at the threshold, his expression grave. Jinjin, come with me to the study. Father wishes to speak with you. In the study, the projector before Father Chi displayed an image of a sharply dressed man standing at a podium, his gaze piercing like that of an eagle behind gold-rimmed glasses. Gu Qinzhou. He is even more handsome and menacing than described in the original text. Chi Xiuyuan cleared his throat. Focus, Jinjin. I shrank back slightly, realizing he was the actual controller of the Gu Group, ostensibly engaged in tech investments while secretly acquiring companies with core technologies. We have already uncovered this. Father Chi adjusted his glasses, but the question remains, why is he suddenly interested in Chi technology? I bit my lip, hesitating to reveal the truth. In the original narrative, the chips developed by Chi technology were the core technology for the next decade. Gu Qinzhou became the wealthiest man by stealing this technology. The study fell into an eerie silence. 3 pairs of eyes fixated on me, and I realized I had inadvertently spoken too freely. Chips? Chi Shuyuan's voice was tense. Are you referring to the project that was halted 3 years ago? I nodded. In the original story, my eldest brother paused the project due to funding issues, allowing Gu Qinzhou to seize the opportunity, leading to a decade-long patent lawsuit they never won. Impossible. Father Chi shot up from his seat. Only the board was privy to that project. Chi Shuyuan's face turned ashen, and it was sealed 3 years ago. Because there's a traitor within the company. Gu Qinzhou's cousin, Gu Yuan, is the financial director of Chi Technology. What? Father Chi and my eldest brother exclaimed in unison. I clasped my mouth, but it was already too late. Gu Yuan, Chi Shuyuan swiftly navigated his tablet. She joined 5 years ago and was promoted to financial director last year. Father Chi immediately dialed a number, freeze all of Gu Yuan's permissions at once. Audit every project she has handled. Watching them hustle about, I quietly retreated to a corner. This is bad. I've revealed too much. They won't see me as a monster, will they? Suddenly, a warm hand rested gently on my head. Do not be afraid. Chi Shuyuan stood beside me, oblivious to when he had arrived, yet he had saved the Chi family. Chi father approached, a rare smile gracing his serious countenance. Jinjin, from this day forth, you shall participate in all board meetings. I was taken aback. Wait. Even Chi Mingyue wasn't qualified to attend the board meetings in the original story. Is it because you can hear our thoughts? My younger brother suddenly peeked in.
Wow.
Dad, you're biased. Chi father tossed a folder his way. Go and do your homework. My brother nimbly dodged and made a face at me. Jinjin, this afternoon, I'll take you to a wonderful place. Half an hour later, I found myself standing before the secret vault in the Chi family basement, my jaw nearly dropping to the floor. This was the true heirloom of the Chi family. My brother, with an air of mystery, input the password. As father had said, I could take a look. The heavy metal door creaked open, revealing an array of antique paintings and calligraphy. At the center, within a glass cabinet, lay a jade pendant in the shape of a dragon, glowing with a rich emerald hue. This is the ancestral jade pendant that Su Wanru bought in the original story. Wait, what is that small inscription below? I leaned closer to the glass, and suddenly, my vision blurred. Key plot item detected. System activation in progress. A cold mechanical voice resonated in my mind, and a semi-transparent progress bar appeared in the upper right corner. 12. What on earth? A system? Greetings, host. I am the book transmigration assistance system number 007. Energy is insufficient, entering sleep mode soon. Then the progress bar vanished. Jinjin? My brother shook me with concern. You look pale. I'm fine. I forced a calm demeanor, though I felt slightly dizzy. Was that just an illusion? Or have I always had a system that simply remained dormant? My brother looked bewildered. What system? It seemed he could not hear the voice. I sighed in relief, preparing to explain when my phone vibrated unexpectedly. An unknown number. Miss Chi, would you be interested in discussing the chip? Gu Qinzhou. My hand trembled, causing my phone to slip and fall once more. My brother picked it up, and his expression shifted dramatically. How does he have your number? Oh no. In the original story, Gu Qinzhou approached the fake heiress to extract information. Wait, do I count as a fake heiress or a true heiress? You're our family's lucky star. My brother tugged at me. Let us hurry and find Big Brother. As we reached the stairway, we collided with Qi Mingyue. She held a stack of design drafts and frowned at our flustered state. What's wrong? Gu Qinzhou texted Jinjin. My brother blurted out. Qi Mingyue's expression froze. That ruthless Guyama? How does Mingyue know so much about Gu Qinzhou? In the original story, they weren't. Qi Mingyue abruptly thrust the design drafts into my hands. Take this. I glanced down to see a series of gown designs, with a red pen marking a listening device at the chest area. I heard you can foresee certain events. Qi Mingyue averted her gaze, her ears flushed. This gown contains a signal blocker. Wear it to the charity gala next week. I was taken aback. The charity gala. In the original story, Gu Qinzhou approached the Qi family at the gala. Is Mingyue helping me? Qi Mingyue's ears turned crimson. Stop being so full of yourself. I just don't want anything to happen to the Qi family. After speaking, she turned and left. Her footsteps hurried. My third brother nudged me. See? What did I tell you? She's Tsundra. Holding the design sketch, I suddenly realized that this home was even warmer than I had imagined. Even when faced with the formidable antagonist of the original story, she seemed less intimidating. On the eve of the charity gala, I stood before the dressing mirror, resembling a warrior preparing for battle. The gown designed by Qi Mingyue fit my figure perfectly. The deep blue satin shimmered under the lights, and the silver embroidery at my waist resembled a cascade of stars. Most astonishingly, the brooch concealed a miniature shielding device, reportedly a piece of black technology that my third brother had modified overnight. Did Mingyue actually remember my measurements? She wouldn't have secretly measured my clothes, would she? Who would measure you? Qi Mingyue's voice came from outside the door. Hurry up and come out once you're dressed. I quickly opened the door. She stood in the corridor, holding a jewelry box. The moment she saw me, her eyes widened slightly before returning to her usual aloof expression. It's, not bad. At least it won't embarrass the Qi family. I glanced at myself and thought, I look quite beautiful. It's far superior to that ostentatious gown worn by the fake heiress in the original story. That garish gold one resembled a Christmas tree. Qi Mingyue suddenly chuckled, then quickly composed herself. Here, matching earrings. I took the jewelry box from her, revealing a pair of sapphire earrings that sparkled under the lights. Isn't this too extravagant? Fake, she rolled her eyes. Who can afford the real anti-eavesdropping device? As I adorned myself with the earrings, a question struck me. Mingyue? How do you know so much about Gu Qinzhou? Her expression froze, her fingers unconsciously twisting the hem of her clothing. In the original story, Mingyue and Gu Qinzhou seemed to have no connections. Wait, could it be? He my senior, Mingyue suddenly confessed. At the Paris Academy of Fine Arts. 2 years ahead of me. I widened my eyes in astonishment. You study art too? What? Only you can study finance. She huffed. On the surface, Gu Qinzhou studies oil painting, but secretly, he has acquired 3 galleries. If someone refuses to sell, the next day, a scandal involving forgery surfaces. Her voice grew softer, almost becoming a monologue. I've witnessed how he destroys an artist. A chill ran through me. So that's it. In the original story, Mingyue was arranged to marry him. Shut up. Mingyue suddenly covered her ears. Don't think of that name. I quickly silenced my thoughts, but couldn't help stepping forward to embrace her gently. Thank you for reminding me, I whispered. Let us be cautious together tomorrow. Mingyue's body stiffened, but she didn't push me away. Who wants to be foolish with you? Yet her embrace was tighter than I had anticipated. On the day of the charity gala, the banquet hall of the Diamond Hotel was resplendent, filled with the mingling of elegant figures and fragrant attire. I linked arms with Qi Shuyuan as we entered, immediately feeling several piercing gazes upon us. Don't be nervous, my brother murmured. Just treat it like an ordinary cocktail party. An ordinary cocktail party? Nonsense. In the original story, Gu Chenzhou sets a trap tonight to humiliate the Qi family and nearly steals commercial secrets. My brother's arm muscles tensed. He's at the 2 o'clock position. As I feigned the act of arranging my hair, I chanced upon Gu Chenzhou standing beside a champagne tower, clad in a flawlessly tailored black suit. His keen gaze behind gold-rimmed glasses sharp as an eagle's. He was engaged in jovial conversation with several business magnates, exuding elegance with every gesture. Such a pretentious and vile creature. In the original narrative, he poisoned his rival with toxic wine. Zhen, my elder brother squeezed my hand, urging me to temper my thoughts. It was only then I noticed the peculiar expressions of several guests around us, evidently affected by my unspoken sentiments. Apologies, Mr. Qi. A warm voice interjected. What an honor. A balding, middle-aged man approached, champagne in hand, and I instantly recognized him as the turncoat Director Wang from the original tale.
Ah,
that scoundrel. He was the one who informed Gu Chenzhou of the rivals' plans. Director Wang's smile faltered, nearly spilling his champagne. Qi Shuyuan's eyes glimmered with amusement. Director Wang, this is my younger sister, Zhen. Miss Qi, a pleasure. Director Wang wiped the sweat from his forehead. I must take my leave. Observing his hasty retreat, my brother and I exchanged knowing smiles. Mr. Qi, a deep, melodious voice resonated from behind. What a pleasure to meet you. I froze momentarily, slowly turning around to find Gu Chenzhou had silently approached us, a perfectly poised smile gracing his lips. Mr. Gu. My brother maintained his composure as they shook hands. I've heard much about you. Gu Chenzhou's gaze fell upon me. This is my younger sister, Zhen. My brother draped an arm around my shoulder. The moon awaits you over there. Relieved, I was about to depart when Gu Chenzhou slightly turned his body. Miss Qi, please stay a moment. I hear you have a profound interest in antiques. Research, indeed. I thought, recalling how he had used this tactic to draw closer in the original narrative. Gu Chenzhou subtly raised an eyebrow. I have heard that the Qi family possesses a treasured jade pendant, he said leisurely, and coincidentally, I have a collection of Han Dynasty jade artifacts. As expected, he is indeed after the jade pendant. Zhen, Qi Mingyu suddenly appeared at my side, holding 2 glasses of juice, your orange juice. As I accepted the glass, our fingers brushed momentarily. Mingyu discreetly traced a line in my palm, our agreed signal indicating he was lying. Senior Gu, Mingyu smiled sweetly. I didn't expect to see you here. A crack appeared in Gu Chenzhou's demeanor. Mingyu? You. I have returned home. Mingyu naturally linked her arm with mine. Sister, father is looking for you. Sister? This is the first time Mingyu has called me sister.
oh my.
This is priceless. Mingyu's ears flushed crimson as she pulled me away. Gu Chenzhou attempted to follow, but my brother interjected. Mr. Gu, I have some inquiries regarding chips. Once we were out of earshot, Mingyu promptly released my arm. Don't misunderstand. That was an act. Indeed, an act. I stifled a laugh. You performed splendidly. Mingyu shot me a glare before lowering her voice. He is lying. The jade artifacts unearthed from Han tombs cannot be privately owned. That would be illegal. Suddenly enlightened, I realized, so he was either testing the waters, or Mingyu's eyes sharpened. He has already discerned the uniqueness of the jade pendant. We simultaneously glanced towards the other end of the hall where Gu Chenzhou was engaged in conversation with my elder brother, his visage adorned with a flawless smile. Yet his fingers unconsciously traced the watch encircling his left wrist. It was previously mentioned in the original text that this was a subtle gesture he exhibited when anxious. Mingyu narrowed her eyes, declaring her intention to investigate his background.
How will you do that?
I queried. The art world has my informants. She responded with a mysterious smile. No matter how astute Gu Chenzhou may be, he cannot erase all traces of his past. As I watched Mingyu's retreating figure, I suddenly realized that this true-born White Lotus from the original story might possess strength beyond my expectations. As the banquet progressed, an acute pain suddenly throbbed at my temples. At first, I paid it no heed until the champagne tower before me morphed into a double vision. Jinjun? The voice of my third brother seemed to echo from a distant realm. You look quite pale. I'm fine, I managed to force a smile. Though I felt slightly unwell. The world around me began to spin uncontrollably. In my fading consciousness, I heard a cacophony of gasps and felt my elder brother's strong arms catch me. When I next opened my eyes, the glaring fluorescent lights of a hospital greeted me. You're awake. My third brother's face loomed close, his eyes reddened like a rabbit's. Doctor. She has awakened. I attempted to sit up, but was swiftly overcome by a wave of dizziness. Do not move, Qi Xiao Yuan cautioned, pressing down on my shoulder. You are receiving in 4. It was then that I noticed the room was crowded with members of the Qi family. My father paced restlessly by the window. My mother's eyes were swollen from crying. My second brother leaned against the wall with a dark expression, and Mingyu stood in the corner, clutching the brooch on my gown tightly. What is wrong with me? My voice emerged hoarse, unrecognizable. The door to the ward swung open, and an elderly doctor entered with a report in hand. Miss Qi, have you experienced any unusual fatigue or dizziness lately? I pondered carefully, recalling, I do occasionally feel exhausted. Does that count? The expressions of my family shifted simultaneously. The doctor adjusted his glasses. The examination results indicate abnormal electrical wave activity in your brain, alongside the detection of an unknown substance in your blood. He perused the report, his brow furrowing deeper. Strangely, the length of your cellular telomeres indicates. What does it indicate? My elder brother's voice was taut with tension. According to this rate of decline, the doctor inhaled sharply. Miss Qi's physiological age corresponds to that of an 80-year-old. The room fell into a heavy silence. This is impossible. Lin Yalan was the first to shatter the stillness. She is only 22. The doctor shook his head. From a biological standpoint, her body is aging at a rate 10 times faster than that of an average individual. I listened, dazed, my mind a void. So, am I going to die? That cannot be. My third brother suddenly grasped my hand. There must be a mistake. We can consult the best specialists. The doctor sighed. Based on the current data, Miss Qi has approximately 3 months left to live. Lin Yalan emitted a stifled sob, and my father supported her. 3 months. I mechanically counted, 90 days, 2,160 hours. Is it truly ending after just a month of entering this narrative? Is there any treatment? My elder brother's voice was chillingly calm. In theory, if we can identify the cause of the accelerated aging. The doctor hesitated, but time is of the essence. Suddenly, Minuet dashed towards me, thrusting a note into my hand before sprinting out of the hospital room without a backward glance. I unfolded the note, which bore an address and a name. Gu's Biological Laboratory Telomere Research. Has Minghua discovered a clue? The doctor, Qi Xiuyuan, interjected, inquiring about the likelihood of a cure if the cause could be identified. The physician wiped his brow and replied that it depended on the specifics. My elder brother turned to me, his gaze resolute. Jinjin, articulate every thought that crosses your mind. I took a deep breath and poured out the thoughts racing through my mind. It could be a side effect of the heart voice ability. In the original narrative, the false heiress lived until the age of 25. Gu Qinzhou's laboratory might hold the key. Could that jade pendant be significant? Mid-sentence, I abruptly halted. In the upper right corner of my vision, the long-vanished progress bar reappeared, now at 50. System rebooting. The cold, mechanical voice resonated in my mind once more. Life-threatening danger detected. Emergency protocol activated. Key information. Host's life is bound to the integrity of the plot. Then it vanished again. Jinjin? My second brother shook me gently, concern etched on his face. Are you alright? I blinked. The progress bar had disappeared, yet the peculiar sense of detachment lingered. I mustered a smile, sensing that I might have found a way. The entire family turned their gaze towards me in unison. First, I steeled myself, affirming that Gu Qinzhou was indeed investigating the jade pendant, and we must safeguard it. Father Qi promptly retrieved his phone. I will enhance the security of the safe. Next, I looked at my elder brother, hand over the documents regarding Gu's laboratory to me. His eyes sharpened. We will act tonight. Lastly, I hesitated briefly. May I be entrusted with the jade pendant? The room fell silent for a few seconds.
All right.
Father Qi unexpectedly acquiesced. Xiuyuan, go fetch the pendant. My third brother dashed out without a word. Lin Yalan clasped my hand. Jinjin, is there anything else we can do? I met the concerned gazes of my family, my nose tingling with emotion. What I fear most is that even if I alter the plot, I cannot escape the fate of death. It won't happen. My elder brother suddenly leaned down to embrace me, his voice trembling slightly. We will not let you die. I leaned against his shoulder, quietly wiping away my tears. In that moment, I was no longer merely a character in a story, nor a false heiress. I was simply Chi Jinjin, a fortunate girl loved by her family. The hospital curtains fluttered in the breeze, casting dancing patterns of moonlight upon the floor. I caressed the ancestral jade pendant in my hand, feeling a gentle warmth that seemed to pulse faintly. When my third brother handed it to me, he said mysteriously, "It heats itself while in the safe." Could it possibly be an ancient artifact? The pendant suddenly trembled lightly in my palm, startling me so much that I nearly dropped it. The door to the room swung open, and Qi Shuyuan slipped inside, his black trench coat still bearing the chill of the night dew. He held a silver tray, his expression grave enough to suggest he might weep. "Elder brother?" I propped myself up. "Are you all right?"
Sure.
He secured the door, drew the curtains, and performed each action with an alarming fluidity. Gu Qinzhou was far more perilous than we had anticipated. A device was inserted into the laptop, revealing a dense array of files on the screen. I squinted to decipher terms such as telomere extension experiments, cellular aging reversal, and gene editing protocols. What the hell? The Goof family is researching immortality. That was not all. My elder brother opened an encrypted folder. They were conducting experiments on living subjects. A series of harrowing images emerged on the screen, emaciated test subjects adorned with electrode patches, their gazes hollow like that of soulless dolls. My stomach churned. These were the homeless, the mentally ill, and my brother's voice was as cold as ice, along with commercial competitors. The final photograph froze my blood.
It was Su Wanro.
She lay on the experiment table, the crimson coral bracelet on her wrist shockingly conspicuous. No wonder she knew I was a transmigrator. She is one of the test subjects. Gu Chunzhou was collecting individuals with special abilities. My brother shut the laptop. Your 39 voice of the heart ability piqued his interest. I instinctively tightened my grip on the jade pendant, so he texted me for live sampling. The look in my brother's eyes sent chills down my spine. Tonight, when I hacked into the system, I discovered that your medical records had already been accessed. The temperature in the hospital room seemed to plummet by 10 degrees. So, in the original story, the false daughter's death was no accident, but rather orchestrated by the Gu family? The jade pendant suddenly became searing hot, nearly causing me to cry out. The progress bar in the upper right corner bizarrely jumped to 75, and fragmented images flashed in my mind. The basement of the Gu family mansion, an aged family tree adorned with dragon motifs. Gu Chenzhou dripping a transparent liquid into red wine. Zhenzhen? My brother pressed down on my trembling hand, asking what was wrong. I saw myself gasping for breath. Gu Chenzhou was going to harm someone. At tomorrow's board meeting, my brother's pupils dilated. The board meeting? Father is indeed attending tomorrow. The red wine. I clutched his sleeve. He will poison it. My brother immediately pulled out his phone, his fingers flying across the screen. I'll notify father. As for Gu Chenzhou, he let out a cold laugh. It was time to strike back. 3 days later, outside the Qi Group boardroom, I donned a white coat pilfered from my younger brother and masked myself as a healthcare worker. The jade pendant beneath my clothing radiated heat, and the progress bar had surged to 90. How long will the system continue to load? System prompt. Key plot item has been accessed. Energy charging in progress. The mechanical voice cut through the air abruptly, startling me into colliding with a nearby potted plant. Who's there? A man in a security uniform approached. I quickly raised the work ID my younger brother had given me. I'm the new nurse. I've taken a wrong turn. The security guard squinted at the ID, and suddenly his expression shifted dramatically. You're Qi Zhanzhen.
Run.
My younger brother's voice echoed from the fire escape, followed by a cacophony of footsteps. I turned and fled, hearing the security guard's furious shout, "Stop her. Mr. Gu has promised a hefty reward. This is bad. The plan is exposed." Just as I rounded a corner, an arm suddenly reached out from behind a security door, pulling me inside. I was about to scream when a familiar hand covered my mouth. It was I. Mingyue's voice rang in my ear. "You fool. You almost ruined everything." In the darkness, she handed me a walkie-talkie. "Big brother has succeeded. We must proceed according to plan." It was then that I noticed Mingyue clad in a uniform from the Gu Group. Her hair dyed a chestnut hue, resembling a corporate elite. "Even an art student can act," she said with a smug raised eyebrow. Gu Qinzhou's assistant took leave, and I conveniently filled in. Static crackled from the walkie-talkie, followed by Qi Shuyuan's deliberately lowered voice. "The data has been uploaded. The system will collapse in 30 seconds. Mingyue tugged me towards the emergency exit. "Hurry. Father is waiting for us downstairs." As we burst out of the building, an alarm blared behind us. Glancing back, I saw chaos in the conference room on the top floor of the Chi group. Several security guards were escorting a well-dressed man out. It was Gu Chinzhou. His gold-rimmed glasses were askew, his expression twisted into a ghastly grimace.
We did it.
Mingyue exclaimed, her fist pumping in triumph. Big Brother exposed the video of him being poisoned. A black sedan at the roadside lowered its window, revealing Chi Father's stern visage. Get in. The Goof family will not let this go. As we scrambled into the car, our third brother slammed the accelerator. In the rearview mirror, several black vehicles rushed out of the underground garage in pursuit. Hold on tight. Our third brother swerved the steering wheel sharply. Our second brother had prepared a surprise. Just as he finished speaking, the leading vehicle suddenly blew a tire, losing control and crashing violently into a barrier. The following cars couldn't brake in time, resulting in a series of collisions. Brilliant! Mingyue cheered. Xiao Jin's gaming reflexes paid off. It was only then I noticed our second brother in the shadows, giving a victorious gesture while gripping a remote control. Goodness! The whole family is mobilized. The sedan sped through the night, granting me a moment to catch my breath. Where to now? To the laboratory, Chi Father replied, handing me a tablet. The data transmitted by Xu Yuan indicated that the core equipment being researched by the Gu family was located in the suburbs. The screen displayed a peculiar image of the apparatus, resembling a colossal MRI machine, yet at its center floated a jade pendant. Wait, that pattern. I retrieved my ancestral jade pendant from my chest, flipping it under the moonlight for comparison. Astonishingly, the jade pattern on the tablet matched perfectly with the Chi family pendant. Father, what does this mean for our jade pendant? We'll discuss it at home, Chi Father said gravely. First, we must address your health concerns. In an abandoned factory in the suburbs, we followed our second brother's electronic map to the entrance of the laboratory disguised as a warehouse. The iris recognition lock had been hacked by Big Brother in advance, and the door slid open silently. A pungent chemical odor assaulted us. In the center of the laboratory stood the massive apparatus, surrounded by numerous computers. This is it. Our third brother dashed towards the control panel, the Gu family's telomere repair device. Suddenly, Mingyue gasped. Look. Inside a glass isolation chamber, a dozen emaciated individuals were restrained in chairs, electrodes attached to their heads. One of them looked up, and I recognized Su Wanre. Her lips moved as if she were trying to say something. Is she pleading for help? Beasts! Chi Father roared, slamming his fist against the wall. How dare the Gu family? We don't have time. Our second brother pointed at the surveillance screen. The Gu family's people were closing in. I rushed to the control panel, and the jade pendant suddenly burned against my skin like a branding iron. The progress bar instantaneously leaped to 100. A jarring mechanical voice echoed in my mind. System fully activated. Detected a homogeneous energy field. Initiating repair procedures. Suddenly, darkness enveloped me, and I stumbled to steady myself against the apparatus. Countless images flashed before my eyes like a revolving lantern. A century ago, the Qi and Gu families were once allies, collaborating on the pursuit of immortality. However, the Gu family's ancestor betrayed them, absconding with half of a jade pendant, leading to the experiment's catastrophic failure. The Qi family preserved the remaining half of the pendant, passing it down through generations, awaiting a bloodline capable of activating it. Jinjin, what is wrong with you? Mingyue supported me as I teetered on the brink of collapse. The pendant is the key. I struggled to raise it, realizing that the apparatus lacked it, compelling the Gu family to resort to using living beings as a source of energy. Chi Father's expression shifted dramatically. Could the legends be true? In the distance, chaotic footsteps and shouts grew closer. My third brother, in a panic, bounced on his feet. They are coming. Put it in, I urged, shoving the pendant into my father's hands, insisting it be returned to the apparatus to save everyone. No sooner had I spoken than darkness reclaimed me, and I lost consciousness entirely. When I awoke, I found myself in a hospital bed, sunlight streaming through the window. Wait, sunlight? I distinctly remembered it being late at night before I fainted. You're awake. My third brother's face suddenly filled my view, sporting dark circles, yet grinning like a fool. Doctor, she's awake. The room filled instantly with faces. My parents, elder brother, second brother, Mingyue, even my uncle, who held a basket of fruits. How long had I been unconscious? 3 days. My elder brother adjusted the bed height, his gaze tender beyond measure. How do you feel? I moved my fingers, astonished to find the weakness had vanished. I feel much better. The doctor hurried in, and after a thorough examination, he wore an expression of disbelief. Incredible. The cellular telomeres have completely returned to normal. What? Not only that, but as the doctor perused the reports, all indicators showed I was healthier than my peers. Miss Chi, your physiological age is equivalent to that of a 20-year-old. The room fell silent before erupting in cheers. My third brother leapt onto the bed, only to be pulled down by my elder brother by the collar. Mingyue, with reddened eyes, scolded me for frightening her. My second brother, caught wiping away tears, sheepishly handed me a box of chocolates. I turned my gaze to my father. The pendant had been returned to its rightful place. For once, Chief Father displayed a smile. The Gu family's illicit laboratory had been shut down, and all victims were rescued, including Su Wanru. And Gu Chinzhou? He's in prison. My elder brother scoffed. His poisoning video has gone viral, and with the charges of illegal human experimentation, he will surely languish behind bars. Lin Yalan grasped my hand. Most importantly, you are safe. Not just safe. The doctor adjusted his glasses. Miss Chi, your current cellular vitality suggests that your lifespan may exceed that of ordinary individuals. So I want to die? I could live to 100. The entire family nodded in unison, with Mingyue adding, yes, you can continue to wreak havoc upon our family. I burst into laughter, tears streaming down my face as I chuckled. A month later, in the garden of the Chi family villa, I reclined in a rocking chair basking in the sun, idly toying with a health certificate issued by the doctor. Although the pendant had been returned to the state, the government had granted special permission for the Chi family to retain related documents. Jinjin. My third brother rushed over. Have you seen the news? Elder brother has acquired the Gu group. Now it is time to call it the Chi division. My second brother strolled over, lollipop in mouth, asking whether I would attend the esports team's match next week. Absolutely. I leapt up, eager for front row seats. Mingyue, holding a palette of paints, interjected coolly, first, pass your finance exam. Those who fail have no right to make requests.
Don't mention that.
The professor said if I skip class again, I'll have to retake it. Our family burst into laughter. My eldest brother leaned out from the study window, quipping, Jinjin, your heartfelt ability seems to have strengthened. Really? I queried. Indeed, he replied with a half-smile. I can hear it even from 3 floors up. I buried my face in my hands, lamenting. But then a long-forgotten mechanical voice echoed in my mind. System prompt. Main quest completed. A new chapter is about to unfold. Loading second part of the storyline. I froze in place. Wait, what second part? The movements of my family halted simultaneously, all eyes fixed on me. What second part? My third brother looked terrified. My eldest brother set down his documents, narrowing his eyes. Jinjin, you better explain yourself. I chuckled awkwardly, slowly retreating. I suddenly remembered I have an appointment with classmates. As I turned to flee, Mingyue seized the back of my collar, trying to escape. Faced with the gathering of my family, I felt tears welling up. Oh no, this is it. I really must confess now. System prompt. New task to explain the multiverse theory to family members. Reward. Telepathy dual access permissions. I thought, help. Is this system intent on hastening my demise? The end.